Well, I think I'm live. I hope I'm live. And Kim Kiranicki, how you doing? Yep, I'm glad you like those. I'm glad you like this chats. It's nice to have people on here. Now today, I see I have 3 viewers. That's good. Today, I cannot do the thing where I bring other people into the chat. I don't have. I'm out of time. I use that other program called. Hey, Ricard, thank you. I use that other program that is by StreamYard, and they only let you do 20 hours a month for free, and then they want to charge you for any time after that. So, hey, footage, um, I should know your name. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, so StreamYard wants to charge a monthly fee to have the option to add people on here now. So basically, my 20 hours renews on May 11th. Steve, all right, thank you, Steve. But my footage will renew on May 11th, or my time. So back to 20 hours. And I know I did some streams where I think I did one on Monday, Wednesday, and I think I did a Friday and maybe thrown a Saturday in there somewhere. So that burned up some of my time. So if I'm better with the time management, I'll be able to do, the other thing, having the people joining the chat. So we had a good chat on Wednesday. That one went for 3 hours and 10 minutes, I believe. And I'm thinking we had at least 4 people on the chat, maybe 5. So now we had Jesse, Andrew, Jared, and 2 others, Marshall, and I don't remember the last one. I think it might have been John. But anyway, um, no audio yet. Okay. Hopefully it's. Hey Warren. Hopefully the audio is working. It shows that it's working on my camera on my screen here. So that's all I can go by. And we have Andrew stopping in before work. Good morning. So Andrew, I believe he's in the United. Well, is it UK? Okay, so Ricard, good. Nobody 66. Good. Good, good, good. All right, Steve, great. Oh, we got 15 people watching. Uh, Walt King, man, please be safe. Yes. Thank you, Andrew. And what I was saying though is in the had like 5 different people on that live stream, and that was pretty cool because I've had 1 or 2 other people at the same time, but having people in and out, in and out. Oh, okay, Andrew, Australia, great. Um, hey, Sean, but having people jump in and out of the stream and just talking for a little bit, I thought that was pretty cool. Made it easier for the process because it's one thing for me to sit here and just ramble on and talk, but it's nice to have the input from other people. So, as we're doing this, I think I can maybe let me see if I can do this. I think I can put the chat, well, maybe not. I don't remember how this works. Let me try it. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Go back to just the way it was. I know there's a way that I can put the chat on the screen here somehow, but I don't remember how that works. So we're just going to go with it. I know you can see it on the YouTube video on the side as it goes by. So Sean from Canada, Robert, glad you're here. Jerry, glad you're here. Donald Morris from Michigan, cool. So we've got a variety of people. We have Australia, which I don't know how much time he has for Andrew to be here, but Andrew's here. So Australia, Canada, Michigan. I know Robert's in Texas. Ricard's in Sweden. So this is cool. You get this global community. uh, you know, Actually not. That's what I was talking about earlier, Steve. I cannot at this time bring people into the video. Maybe on Monday, whenever I do the Monday night thing, we might be able to get you in here, but um, it's just not working out because I this program, which is Streamlabs OBS, will not give me that option. So or it might, but I don't know how to do it. Put it that way. Never used it other than doing the straight up. Yeah, I'm timed out. Yeah, on Streamlabs. So yeah, you can ask questions. Sure. Um, I'm gonna say I know it says Johan, which I'm gonna assume was pronounced Johan in South Africa. Like your show a lot, it is 2,100 hours in South Africa now. Cool. You know what? You're gonna get a bell. Let me get a better bell because I don't know if I've had anybody on here from South Africa before, and I assume it is Johan. I guess I'm saying that right. Hope I'm saying it right. That's cool. So I'm hoping you have some projects that you're working on, maybe. You know, some sort of a. Oh, wait a minute. We got nobody in Kowloon Cornea. Kaluna Cornea. Kaluna Cornea. I get it. You're right. Okay. So I think Steve from Footage Factory wants to ask some questions. So we're gonna let him get his question, whatever he can come up with up here, and we'll try to. Yeah, Cala Unicornia. Yeah. Okay. I get it now. Okay. I was thinking loony, Cala loony, but close enough. Cal Unicornia. Okay. Robert, back from Home Depot picking up materials. Don't go. They are busier than Black Friday. Yeah, I usually don't go there anyway. Just I go to Lowe's just because. Uh, so let's see. Steve has some questions that he has 3 questions. Writing them down or writing them out now. The first question. Okay. Oh, Kim. Oh, off to bed. Sorry. Well, I'm glad you were here. Glad you check at least got a check in. I know you've commented on other videos before, so glad you're here. Walt King, are you ever going to show us how to do interior on a 65 Mustang? Maybe, if I get to that point. I still have of course, the Brooklyn Pony needs all the interior put in it, and I'm not exactly sure what's going in it. I know the owner talked about maybe TMI, but the problem with anything of that, all the seats are junk. They're just completely trashed and not usable. So got to come up with different things. Let's see. Good night from Cornwall, England. All right. Well, sorry. Glad you were here. Steve from Footage Factory. TCI control arm length that connects from frame stiffener to axle. What's the length of the control arm before tightening the jam nut? TCI control arm. Oh, okay. I know what you're saying. You're asking about the lower control arm. Runs from the mount point on back. Hey, Jack. Whenever I did the one on the Pony, basically I had to kind of figure that out. And I say that because I think it gives you, let me go look at that just real quick. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. Basically what I did was, as I was mounting everything in place, I adjusted things until I got the axle centered in the wheel opening. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell you the exact number or dimension, whatever, but I just kept adjusting it until I got it where it sat center line of the wheel arch. And then I was going to do later adjustments if I needed to, but that's where it's at right now. So hope that helps. Let's see. Karsten. All right, I'm going to try to remember. Karsten is Denmark, right? I believe it's Denmark. Glad you're here. I had a friend message me earlier. He's wanting to stop by for coffee. I don't think he's going to come by though. He has he's from Finland, so I told him if he stops by, he's going to have to sit right here or over here or something and be on the channel and answer questions. Randall Heath, your suggestion to use a paint stick to remove trim around the window on my Cougar worked great. For the second window, use a section of 2x4, and it seemed to work even better. Cool. I'll give you a bell for successfully removing trim from your Cougar. Yeah, that was, that was a quick video too. That was just showing you, because the paint stick is a consumable. If you damage a paint stick, so what? You want to save that trim. So if you haven't seen it, if you're curious what Randall's talking about, he'd asked me before about removing the trim over like the drip rail, and you try different things, and you're gonna end up twisting it or mangling it or putting a dent somehow. And I used a paint stick and just tapped on the edge of it, rolled it off. But there's a video out there, so I think it's just trim removal, Mustang trim removal or something like that. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. All right, Johan, Barry, you pronounced my name right. Thanks for the bell. Been watching your show for a while. I like your repair videos. Well, thank you, Johan. And it's funny. It seems pretty obvious it would be Johan, but I have a friend that I work with who is from Romania, and his name is Johan, but it is not spelled that way. It is spelled I-O-A-N. I-O-A-N. That's how he spells it. But he says it's pronounced Johan. So when I see, Johan, to me that's a variant of, I guess, John, be my guess. I'm assuming. It seems like it would make sense that it would be Johan, John, kind of similar. So, all right. Robert's got to step out for a minute. Steve, next question. TCI sent the lubrication packets. I know I struggle reading the manual, but what portions of front and rear end need that lube? Well, I believe that those little grease packets are designed for all the bushings. I think it has urethane bushings. And so to reduce the squeak, that's where that grease is supposed to go, from my understanding. So that whenever you assemble those things and torsion bars or the bushing itself, whatever, you put some of that grease on there to help it move around a little bit, because urethane bushings, if not lube, they will squeak. They'll make irritating noises. So that's how they try to alleviate that, is with the grease stuff. Jorge Lopez, New Jersey. Well, glad you're here. That's pretty good. I was, let's see, I'm not sure how to say that. G.I. Willow, how are you doing? Got a question? Did you experience differences from rough to, oh my gosh, hold on. Blah, blah, blah. See, that's what happens when I do a video too. I end up stumbling over words. That's where the bloopers come from. Got a question. Did you experience differences from left to right full quarter panels? Left does not seem to line up properly to get the tail panel fixed. Pretty upsetting. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Every time, seemingly. What I will suggest is you go back and look at the videos for the light blue Mustang. The light blue Mustang, when I put on the left quarter, it sat, so the back end was like low, I believe. Made a mess of things. And I don't know if I gave all the details in that process, but I had to really massage that quarter to get it high enough so that things lined up with the tail panel and all that sort of thing. So if you go to my playlist on the YouTube channel, you look up light blue Mustang, it'll show you a series of videos. And that car is the one I put the full, put the full floor pan underneath it. new, God, everything but the roof was new on that car, I think. Um, so go check that out, and maybe that'll help you out. But the left quarter panel is also, in most instances that I've seen, it's about a quarter inch too long, and I've had to shorten up the quarter panel to make it fit the car. So just know that. But the light blue Mustang is where you want to go. Let's see. Karsten, have tried to find a part number on my 89 Mustang starter, but there's not the stamp into it. Have to order a new one. Okay, I'm assuming it's GI Willow, right? I guess it's GI Willow. Okay. Yeah, go check that out. Maybe that'll help you with that situation. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on a starter. I mean, here in the States, we just tell them it's an 89 Mustang. They ask if it's a V8, of course, and go from there. So I don't know how the parts stores work in Denmark, but you have to. I don't know how to tell you to deal with that unless you order from the States or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how that process works. You know, I can't think of stuff that we need to order typically from Europe that we have to deal with. So kind of hard for me to give you a good answer on that. All right. GM guy, John, glad you're in the house. Looks like you got some wrenches flying. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you're not just throwing wrenches at people. Kind of what it looks like, a little fiction caption thing. Oh, okay. Audio problems on your end, Brian. Okay. Okay. So Karsten, if you're buying from eBay, I don't have a good answer for you on that. I don't know if is Amazon an option or anything like that. Can you? I don't know how any of that, because like here we can go online to Advanced Auto Parts or O'Reilly or Napa or even AutoZone if we really had to, but you could go through their list, or you could look up. And I can't say for sure that they'll have it works in your country. I don't know, but Rock Auto is another one. I've had pretty good luck with Rock Auto. People will complain or have had complaints about Rock Auto and the parts, but for the most part, I've never had to return anything to Rock Auto, and I bought a lot of stuff from them. So I don't know if that's an option either, but just something to consider. Let's see. We've got Steve again asking a question. Last question for today. I wanted to video you my car to ask this question, so I might wait till your video chat renews. I watched your video about the wheel size machine that holds a tire, part 1. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that Wheel Fit was a brand of tool that I used to test fit find out what wheels would fit the car. So anyway, yeah, maybe we can do it on the next live StreamYard event. Hopefully it renews like at midnight on Monday, because I don't know if they start it whenever you actually start broadcasting, or you know how it is, 24-hour midnight. I don't know. So hopefully it works out. All right, let's see. Walt King, I've been thinking about putting a Coyote engine in my 6-foot Mustang. Kind of scared because I don't know if it's worth doing. I'll give you an opinion if you want, Walt. To me, it's not worth it. I'll just be honest. I mean, I'm sure it's a great engine, and I'm sure it looks cool and runs, great and all those sort of things. But to me, it's just not worth it. Unless you're, I don't know. I mean, what do you gain by putting in a Coyote engine other than opening up the hood and going, whoo, look at that, Because you have to modify the firewall, you have to modify the floor pan, you have to, come on in, you have to move the master cylinder to the side, Hold on a minute. My son's trying to come in. Let's see my other son. What do you want?
Huh?
What do you need?
That battery.
Oh, okay. You got to come in and say hi to everybody.
Okay.
This is my oldest son. You got your head in the way of the logo.
Oh. Hey,
there
everybody.
You go. This is the oldest son, Shane. He's picking up his battery for his lawnmower. Oh, it's actually outside.
Oh, all right.
I set it out there on the wood block.
All right.
All right. So anyway, talking to people in Europe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. All right. See you. Anyway. I get back on my track. But anyway, I don't think that to me, I wouldn't put a Coyote engine in. It's not worth the effort, in my opinion. But people do it, and it's up to them. If you want to build it, build it. But I'm I'm just not interested in doing it. Let's see. Jorge, where can we buy real Dynacorn panels for 66 Mustang? I'm going to give you a name, and you can contact him. He's a distributor. He's the only guy I know who's actually a distributor for Dynacorn. His name is Ron Wolfe, Wolfe, and he's on Facebook. I can't think of the name of what if it's Ron Wolfe Restorations or something along those lines. I think he's based in the Midwest. So I don't have his, let me see if I can, I don't know if I have a direct number to him. But Ron Wolfe will get you those parts, and he'll have them drop shipped to you. And I think he can get you a little bit of a discount, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me just see if I can. Let me just see if I can pull up some information real quick. But that's a good question. And hold on, just 1 second, because Wolf's Auto is the name of his company, and he's on Facebook. Let me see if I can pull this up. I mean, it says right here, Dynacorn distributor. So, well, here's the phone number. I'll give you a phone number for Ron Wolfe. You can contact him directly, or at least his company. You ready? Give you a second to write this down. 740-499-2120. 740-499-2120. And he is in New Bloomington, Ohio. So if you want to make a call to him and see if he can get you, and his website looks like it's wolfsauto.net, WOLFESAUTO.net. But if you call him or talk to him or talk to Ron or whatever, tell him I sent you. Okay? You gotta make that deal with me. Tell him I sent you. So anyway, let's see, Steve. I wanted to show you my Fender setup because I want a wide body, tires to be wide with a non-tubbed kit. Okay. Tire, yeah, because you know what? In fact, I was looking at somebody asked me earlier about my 68 and I have tires on the back of that 68. They're about, I don't know, they're about that wide, but not that it matters. You're not building a 68. But yeah, we can look at that and see what you can come up with, or see what kind of questions you have, or maybe we can help answer some of that. Okay, so Steve, you have videos up of his Coyote swap. Okay, so go check out Footage Factory and look at his conversion, and we'll see what happens. Jeff Perrine, could you use those sites to find the part number and then search eBay by that part number, assuming none of them will ship to you? Yeah, that's true. So Karsten, what Jeff is saying is, you can go to the other websites and find that part number, and then find that part number on eBay. So that might be that's a good answer, Jeff. Give you a bell for that. Let's see, Jeff, I was Footage Factory, Steve. I was thinking the same thing. Look up, part number on American site, then order overseas. Yep. Andrew Harrison, I'm pretty sure it's Australia. He said he'll be back. I can't say it with an Australian accent though. Micah Yoder. You sound like you're from that sounds like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Yoder, right? It's got to be that zone. At least that's where your family's from. Should be. Question for 69. Replace driver's frame rail and floor support with entire floor cut out. But floor support is measuring 1/4 inch low compared to passenger side. Go ahead and screw the floor pan to it. Okay, let's see. Replace driver's frame rail and floor support with entire floor cut out, but floor support is measuring 1/4 inch low compared to passenger side. That seems odd. Is the rail already welded in, and the floor support already welded in? Did you use some cross measuring to make sure you were, when you were putting it in, you had it at the right height? Because if it's sitting 1/4 inch low to the floor pan, is it multiple things? Like, is the frame rail too low for the front? That's something you need to look at. I don't know what the scenario was, if you just had a rusted out piece or if it was wrecked or anything like that. But if it's low 1/4 inch where the floor mounts, then it's likely low 1/4 inch where the wheel mounts. Now, it may not matter much, but just something to think about. Let's see. Jeff, I maybe wouldn't do a regular Coupe, but I would love to have the 5.2 Voodoo with the flat plane just for the sound. Well, I'm not familiar with that exactly, so sounds like a plan. Make it happen. Jorge, yep, great. Yeah, contact Ron. Yep, Steve. Yep. All right. Up, Micah, you're living out in Kansas City. Yeah, but that name is definitely Pennsylvania, Ohio, maybe even a little bit of New York. I know that name. Yep, Amish Yoders. Yep. Okay, so Micah says they're welded in now and measured everything before cutting out. Okay, so are you putting in, when you say the floor pan is sitting a 1/4 inch high, now let's look at the other variables. Is the pan, what's keeping it from dropping in a 1/4 inch? Because your tranny tunnel, I don't know what you're using exactly. If you're using a one piece, driver's side floor pan, more than likely it's kind of maybe sitting up a little bit, because if you watch my videos, when I do the tranny tunnel and I bring the floor pan on top, I don't typically do a butt weld. I just don't like that. I do a lap weld. And so it could be just holding it up a little bit if you're doing an overlap at the tranny tunnel. Just something to consider. But, and I know you said screw it down, but I'm really hoping you mean temporarily screw it down. You're going to weld that, right? I hope so. I hope so. Don't use screws. You got to weld that thing. Rick, thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. But yeah, there's lots of things that can happen when you're replacing pieces. And of course, aftermarket, I don't know the dimensions are, I mean, they should be pretty close on a frame rail and floor support. They could be off just a little bit, 1/4 inch may not be that bad. And, like I said, if it's just sprung because it's sitting on top of the tranny tunnel or whatever, it's probably not going to make much difference to push it down. So if everything else is good, make it fit. I'll say that. How about that? Okay. All right. So yeah, welded in. Yep. Yep. Sounds good. How's everybody else doing? I know that there's been lots of talk on the news about opening up the states or not opening up the states, or keeping businesses restricted. And there's people disobeying the orders. Like hair salons saying we're going to open up, and there's one woman, I think she was out. I think she's in Pennsylvania. She was arrested for opening up her hair salon and thrown in jail for 7 days because she wouldn't apologize to the judge. So the judge made an example of her and threw her in jail for 7 days. It's crazy. And if you watch, there's all kinds. You can get all kinds of news wherever you want, different information here and there. We all know that there's different news outlets will put out their own story as to what they want you to hear, say, or do. And I've watched a couple various videos of doctors and, you know, educated people who know about these things. And they were talking about the idea that here we are in, a self-imposed quarantine basically, and we're messing ourselves up. And if you listen to the reality of it, as a human species, let's say, here we are, we interact with people every day. Normally we interact with somebody, and our bodies will get a virus. There's thousands of viruses out in the world, and we will interact with somebody and may get a virus from them, and our body will kill it. It'll build antibodies that will kill off these viruses. It helps develop our immune system. And what these doctors have pointed out very specifically is the fact that because we're self-isolating, we are limiting our immune system because we're not interacting with other people and getting these, crossover of germs and viruses, whatever. And they're predicting that there's going to be a bigger problem in October of people coming out and now interacting with people and getting overwhelmed with different sicknesses. So, it's crazy. Like I said, you can watch the various YouTube stuff or news outlets or whatever. You make up your own mind. I just know that makes sense because we have to have an immune system. And in fact, they were even talking about how wearing the masks, we are I don't know, creating our own virus in a sense is what they were saying. But anyway, everybody's healthy here. We haven't had any issues. I personally don't know anybody who has come down with the virus, like firsthand. I don't know anybody. I've heard of a friend, situation or different things like that. And even then, they were kind of like they didn't have a cold, it's just had a mild cough and no real issues. Now I know there's other things that can be enhance the problem with the um, you know virus stuff going on. I've heard of people getting blood clots and different things like that. And anyway, I'm just it's our society today. It's where we're at. Yeah, Brian. And I'm not trying to make anybody mad. I'm just trying to give you, some insight into my opinion. Not that it really matters, but um, it's just kind of crazy that we're self-imposing ourselves into this quarantine, and it may not be the best thing we can do for us. I know. Well, Ricard says Sweden has never really closed down. We have a quite high death rate, mostly among the elderly. Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's the bulk here in the states. Even though we've been kind of shut down, that I think it's the older population is more susceptible to the virus, and younger people, even though there can be people can get young people getting blood clots and various things. There's been young people that have died from this virus, but that's one thing that they've been looking at is how Sweden is going forward. Um, so it's still kind of crazy. Karsten, we were open on Monday. The case of COVID-19 are few. I live in a remote part of Denmark. Yeah. Yeah, I think one, there's one, what is it? One city that's part of the state of Washington that's not this part of the state of Washington. If I remember right, showed it up in a map. You have to cross this great big lake, and it's like this little community that is considered part of the United States, but it's really attached to Canada. And they're like nobody's sick there, but of course it's not that huge of a community either. But it's just I don't know. They we can all play to the fears of the media, the stuff that they tell us, and it's just really interesting to think about it because we it, well, one thing I did see on one of their videos, and this is apparently factually true, is um, there are, well, like, okay, the number of people that have the flu or pneumonia has dropped to like zero. So think about that for just a minute. Let's say zero, right? But say, I don't know what the numbers are. I can't quote the numbers. But let's say we lost 40,000 people last year to flu and pneumonia. We lose people all the time to flu and pneumonia. But now, in the past month or so, nobody's dying from the flu or pneumonia. They're all dying from COVID-19. Well, I learned this, supposedly factual true, that if you have a person in the hospital, no matter what the age is, if they died from COVID-19, if that was labeled on the death certificate, then the hospital gets $13,000. Does that make sense? If they tell people that they died of COVID-19, they get $13,000. And then another thing that I heard was if they were on a ventilator and they died, the hospital gets $39,000. That doesn't make any sense at all. Why are they paying people or paying a hospital to label it as a COVID-19 death? Any thoughts on that? You know, again, it's just me rambling, but it's pretty crazy. Um, okay, Brian. Yeah, I'm fed up with it too. Steve, see, Georgia is starting to reopen as you see around town. Some people wear a mask and some don't. Yeah, I mean, I'll wear my bandana around my face. I'm not going to wear a mask, but primarily because I don't really have one. But you know, I'll wear that bandana. Um, I said it before, it reminds me when I was in the military and were doing stuff out in the desert. We would tie a bandana around our head and call it a drive-on rag. That was our drive-on. Move, keep moving. So that's how I kind of envision it as a drive-on rag. But yeah, the stuff that they're telling us just doesn't make sense. Why would they be paying a hospital money, $13,000, if you put death certificate notification COVID-19? And there's been some really interesting videos that come out recently, and I'm not trying to stir up a conspiracy deal. I don't want to do that, but it just seems kind of crazy that they would get that kind of money. And then, like I said, the number of people dying from the flu and pneumonia, those all dried up. There's nobody, suddenly nobody's dying from that. And then beyond that, you look at the people don't want to go to the hospital, so a lot of hospitals don't have any real patients coming in with saying, "Hey, I'm feeling this or I'm whatever." They don't even want to come to the hospital because they're scared, and that's happening across the nation. So they're saying, there was emergency hospitals set up in Texas. I think it was Houston. They set up this hospital bed tent city out in the middle of the parking lot. And what I understand, they didn't get one patient. They thought they were going to have this big wave of sick people, and there was no sick people. So they took it all down, hauled it off. It's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, Steve, those doctors make a lot of sense. Jack, Jersey is still locked down. Tight school out for the rest of the year. Yeah. Yeah, they've shut down all the schools all over the place. And that's just, again, it's crazy. Robert, we are sticking our heads in the sand to hide from the big monster, but the monster is going away. It's just another bug we are going to have to deal with. Yes, I agree. It is just, what is it? What do they call it? Herd immunity. You know, you got to get all the herd has to get something so they can fight it. We're the herd. If the herd's not out there interacting, it doesn't help things. So, um, yeah, GM guy, John, Jerry, we live in Tennessee, but are currently in Lubbock, Texas for a medical emergency. The city is starting to open up business. I hear Tennessee is also opening up, except for Shelby, Davidson, and Knox counties. Well, we'll see how that goes. Jorge, I live in North New Jersey. It's bad. We lost 8 friends. Wow. See, that is bad. But we have to also consider, well, without knowing the scenario, without knowing their ages or anything like that, and this can multiply with something else. So if you have people have cancer or whatever, diabetes, you have different ailments, and you get this, and it, it takes people out. But I guess the same have been said for the flu or pneumonia? If they were exposed to somebody who had, mystery strain of the flu or something, could it have turned out the same? We don't know that. Yeah, I'm not going to go there, Brian. Hey, Paul, glad you're here. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to get on a chair and thump my chest and say, hey, do this, do that, whatever. No. I'm just expressing my opinion because I guess I can. Yeah, Jerry. I don't want to go down that path. I'm just not. I'm not. I don't want to get on that stool. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but let's see, Robert. If we can't stop something as easy to stop as AIDS, there's no way we can stop a disease that is spread through contact and droplets. True. Karsten, problem is the U.S. is its hospital is a big business. Luckily, we have free hospitals. Hospitals are a huge business here in the United States. You're absolutely right. Hey, James. Um, Paul, hey, can you answer a pink question or is this Corona chat? No, we can talk about anything. We can talk about whatever you want. It's just me. Do you think China created it? Well, I can tell you this. Um, uh, my opinion is they had some involvement with it becoming what it is today. Put it that way. One of the videos I watched recently, very insightful video, very, very insightful. Uh, I don't remember the woman's name, but that video is going to it might get banned. But anyway, this woman was a doctor who was heavily involved with Dr. Fauci and various other peoples and programs and government stuff and blah, blah, blah. She has come out and said, one of the quotes she made was, this virus could not transfer from animals to humans without help. She says, for that normal cycle of life, for it to go from an animal to a human would take 800 years. She said somebody had to help it get to the human side of things. So just consider that for a moment. One of the things that she's talked about is universities are now they do research, medical research, right? They find a cure for a sickness or whatever, and then that university will go out and patent it. They'll go patent it and then sell it and make tons of money off of research that is basically funded through the government. So crazy. This woman talked about, Dr. Fauci withholding the how did she word it? It was a paper that was for the treatment of AIDS, HIV, and he withheld it and rewrote it for. It was one of her papers, and he rewrote it for so they could patent it. And in the meantime, who knows how many people ended up dying from the sickness. So Dr. Fauci, I'm not real comfortable with. I don't think he's in it for I think he's in it for himself. So anyway, Paul, I'm working on my Suburban, and after talking to you, I stripped off the bodywork. Cool. Now, is this the? Oh yeah, I just shared this video on my Facebook page. Okay. So Paul, is that the? Oh, you shared that video that I'm talking about? Yeah. You know what I'm saying. So Paul, okay. So you had the Suburban with the oil can door quarter, if I remember right. Um, so you're saying you stripped off the bodywork. Did you strip all of it off, or did you strip off just in that section, or whatever? So I remember we talked about that, about it being not good. JW Wright, pandemic movie. Yeah, it's playing out like a movie. Oh, YouTube took that video down. Really? that's disappointing, because if it's the one I'm thinking about, okay, so yeah, you stripped down the Suburban, that's good. Let me see if because it wouldn't surprise me that they took it down. Um, it wouldn't surprise me at all, because they don't want that kind of information getting out. They don't want people to know what's going on. Gary Dennebeck, Gary Dennebeck. I'm guessing that's how you say it. Barry, I have a 65 Mustang Coupe with pretty good coat of paint on it. I'm going to repaint. Can I use the epoxy primer over original paint? I would not. Um, that the epoxy is meant to go to bare metal. That's its intent, is to build a foundation from bare metal, then epoxy, and then fillers or high build primer after that. So I'm not sure. When you say it's got a pretty good coat of paint on it, is it base coat, clear coat? What kind of paint is it? Um, that's probably more important than anything. And how long has it been painted? How thick is it? There's a lot of variables that come in, because once uh, you can only go so thick with paint, and then it'll be a problem. So I'm just curious. I want to see. I had shared that video earlier today, and I'm just wondering if it's actually, I believe you. Yeah, violates community guidelines. I'll bet. Yeah, just like those doctors talking about people getting, getting their hands dirty and all kind. They blocked all them too. Um, Steve, can you splice the rear frame rails on the 65 Coupe? Well, they make patches for them, so I'm gonna say yeah. Um, let me see. Let me see if that video is still up there. So, I mean, I've seen people do it, and you may look at, whenever you do that section. I mean, I don't like cutting stuff square and trying to weld it back together. It probably won't matter much um, on the rear frame rails. I would cut it maybe at an angle, so you have a longer weld seam, and it kind of spreads the load rather than being straight up and down. So, but I have seen it done, and they make repair pieces for those. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have that video. I'm going to see if it comes up on my phone while I'm sitting here, because I know I've got multiple things going right now, and it may not be worth it to. Yeah, I can't pull it up right now. Anyway, yeah, very very interesting information, and makes you angry when you start really listening and looking at things. Um, Robert, thinking of design for the body rollover jig, debating between rolling on one side or able to go both ways. Rough design ideas right now. Oh, okay. Well, you've probably seen that wooden. You can look up that tip over wooden jig that they build. But I would say, if you're going to look at going, well, I mean, you could go to you wouldn't, obviously wouldn't build it as one big giant thing. You'd do one side, or maybe turn it around and do it the other way. I don't know, but maybe you need a rotisserie. But if you had to, yeah, I mean, I've thought about building one of those, and I don't know how hard it would be to make it so you could just 180 it. I haven't looked at it very 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 hard. Okay, so Paul, yeah, they're saying it's gone. Jerry Towler, I used the rear frame patch rail on a 66 Mustang, worked out good. So there you go. Good idea. Steve, I'm literally dropping the stang along. Is that what it's called? You call it the stang along? Onto the axle as we speak. Well, you can't be if you're typing. If you're using your phone or something, you can't be doing it as you speak. That doesn't work. But I get it. Jorge, Barry, you're right. Check out China in Focus on YouTube. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's no way this thing just magically made its presence known. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. There's too many things that don't make sense. And whoops, I was gonna try something else on my phone here. If I turn off my Wi-Fi, maybe I can still pull up the see if that video is still there or not. Who knows? But yeah. So staying along, is that the name of it, Steve? Is that what you're calling it? Yep. Video has been removed for violating community standards. That means she was telling the truth. That's what that means. She was telling the truth. And her name, the video is called Plandemic, Plandemic, Part 1. And her name is Dr. Judy Mikovits, Mikovits, Mikovits. So you might want to look that up. Let's see. Yeah, that's I'm quite surprised. Okay. All right. So let's see. So Footage Factory, Steve, multitasking, watching you on big TV with laptop open. Okay. On the big TV out in the shop. All right, that's great. Hold on, just a second. Nope. Let me make sure I've got this going right. Okay. Okay. So I assume it's still working. I was getting a caution from YouTube. But anyway, let's see. Paul Barry found the video on BitChute. BitChute. So you can look that up. Maybe that'll help. It's probably on Vimeo or something too. You know, people that don't have the same agenda as Big Brother. Who knows? They might block this video because I mentioned it. Because they listen to what I'm saying. So they might block this video as well. I don't know. James, hey Barry, do you ever show off the Mustang we did back in the day? It's on my Facebook page. There's pictures of it. That red one with the white stripes. Yeah, I'm sure it's one you're talking about. I'm pretty sure it's one you're talking about. It's on my Joe Daddy's Facebook page. So that was quite the project. James actually, when we had the body shop, he worked for us at the body shop. And unless you're talking about, which one are you talking about, James? Because I don't know if you were there when we did the red one. I don't know if you were there when we did the red one, or if you were there because there was a couple others. We did the blue one. The blue fastback ended up being at the big shop. And then there was a red 68 I did work to, and there was a yellow 73 convertible or 72 convertible. So I'm not sure which one if you're talking about the red one, either way, there's pictures of it on the Joe Daddy's Facebook page. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, pandemic, documentary, The Hidden Agenda. She knows too much. I fear for her life. Yeah, I'm telling you. She was actually put in jail for 5 years and not even charged with anything. There's a scary part on that. Good thing I watched it earlier. Yeah, Gary. Yep, I'll give you a bell for watching it earlier. Okay. Pandemic Part 1. Yeah, that's what it said. But according to my post, it's gone. Wally in North, your chat is starting to stall big time, so maybe, yeah, very possible. Okay, so Jerry, you can access it. Okay, James, the one we did for the Air Force guy. Yeah. There's pictures of it. In fact, there's videos of it on the YouTube channel. So, James, if you haven't looked at those, it's a 1970 fastback. Or sport roof. So if you go to the playlist and you look up 1970 fastback, whatever, there's videos of that car. there's only a few pictures on the Facebook page, and I think I put some recent ones on Instagram because I saw it at a car show or something. So yeah, James, you can check that one out. Because the red one we did, that was at the other old shop. That was a pretty big project. um, yeah. So Steve, all right, I'm hopping onto the car to connect linkages. If you don't hear from me, call 911. All right, Steve, we'll do that. We'll call 911 and let them know that you're not on YouTube, that you're not following through with your requirement to be on YouTube. So, um, yeah, the 70 fastback, the guy that owned it, it was a V8 car, automatic, but it was not a Mach 1, and he was wanting it. It was originally kind of a medium blue, very plain looking car, and we took it from that to kind of almost like a Boss 302 looking car. Painted it grabber blue, put black stripes on it coming across, like went across the fenders, came across the hood, whatever, and went down the sides. And we also modified it to where it had a instead of having Boss 302 on the side, with the angled stripe, you'd have a center section cut out, whatever it said there. I think it said Boss 302. We changed it to say USAF because, and I think we put a star on either end of that. The idea was that he said at some point he's going to give the car to his son, who was in the Air Force, and so he was making it an Air Force tribute. So that's how that car went about. So there are a couple of several videos on that car. That's the one, if you went back and looked at the Edelbrock throttle bracket, that was the car I made that throttle bracket for. So that was, yeah, that car. And then I wish I had better footage of it. I did a final walk around of it when it was all put together. Somebody had asked about interior, and that was one car we actually did, all the seats and everything. Because it was not, I think the interior was originally blue. It was like blue on blue, not real pretty. So we did that grabber blue on the outside and then black interior. I think we put louvers on it. It's been so long. I think we put louvers, and I think we put a spoiler on the back. Pretty sure. I might have put a chin spoiler on it. And I think it had a hood scoop, but anyway. Let's see. Andrew, off to work. Have a good day, or have a good one. All right. Andrew in Australia. See ya. Glad you were here. Jorge, yes, I'm still selling the Joe Daddy hats. All I have available is black. So if you are interested in a hat, they're $26, and send me an email, joedaddysgarage@gmail.com, and we can go from there. Typically I use PayPal, but I have had people send me cash, whatever works. Prefer not to have a check, but it'd be much easier just do PayPal. So if you're interested. James, yeah, it had louvers. Yeah, I know it says movers, but I know you meant to say louvers. Yeah, and it turned out really nice. It was a really sharp car. In fact, he called me sometime late last year because it wasn't running right, and he was asking me if I could come look at it because he only lives 10, 15 miles from me, and he said, "Can I come look at it?" And I said, "Well, what's wrong with it?" And he told me, and I can't remember exactly, but he told me that it was just kind of running rough or whatever. And I said, well, why don't you check the timing, check the points, check this, check that, make sure. And he ended up calling me up later. He says, you know what? I figured it out. He says, he didn't really want to take a chance on it, but after I talked to him and said, hey, you got nothing to lose at this point, play with it, see what happens. And he was able to get it running and running really good. So that was good. All right, Ricard, have a good night. Looking forward to updates. You should be doing some work on that Mustang. You got plenty of time. Get those subframes or frame rails welded in. Get that all finished. Leonard. All right. Leonard has shown up, and Leonard is working on a Torino out in, I think, Northern California. And he's been on here a couple times. Oh, he's been on the live stream once when we had the other program. But with this Streamlabs OBS, I can't bring people on. I've mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. And as it is, I've got 27 viewers. It's been an hour. I may go, hour 15, hour 30, depending on what we get going on. If anybody wants to throw out some questions or, get some insight, whatever. And I'm not against keeping it moving, but I don't want to make it an all-day event. I have other things to do, believe it or not. So, yeah, James, it did turn out to be a really sharp car. That's the one, in fact, I think that was the first time I fixed up doors where the bottom corner had rusted out on the door. That was the first one I did because I sectioned everything out and welded in that corner piece by piece. So if you look back at those videos for the 1970 Mustang, you'll see that. And then the other one, which I always thought was kind of funny, they had a problem with the vents on the sides. Like the 60 up to the 68, they had a solid toe kick on the side. Well, 69, it had an air vent that came in from those sides, and apparently that was a problem for moisture and rust and all that sort of thing. So, there's the air vents probably 7-8 inches, and they had rotted on that particular Mustang. Well, at the time, I don't think, all right, 805 Road King, we'll see you. Glad you were here. At the time, that I knew of, they didn't make repair pieces for those, where those vents mounted. So I had to hand make them. And that's what I did. I ended up taking what I have left of the original opening and basically handmade flanges and welded them all back in so that we had a place to mount those vents. And then I found out years later that there's somebody, I don't know who makes them now, Dynacorn or somebody makes those panels that you can replace those sections. But that was interesting. That was a different experience. I think I put floor pans in that one. I think I did a little bit of work on the quarter, maybe a wheelhouse. Overall, the car was pretty solid. I mean, the frame rails up front, aprons, all that stuff was good. The left front fender was bad, and I think I took the aftermarket fender and I cut off the corner where the corner of it, where it met the door and A-pillar. The shape was really bad, and I cut off that section from the original fender and welded it in so that it had a much better transition. So that was interesting. Hey, Butch. Yeah, William is Butch. Yeah, you watched all the Brooklyn Pony videos. Yeah, yeah, you're right. That is a lot of work. Yep. And that's, well, originally when the Brooklyn Pony was first talked about and going under conversation of how it was going to get built and all that sort of thing. Originally, that car was meant to be basically go back to stock, like stock suspension, stock rear end, transmission, and there were hopes of restoring the original engine that was in the car, but it was no good. It had been frozen and broken. But that was your original plan for the Brooklyn Pony, was to be, basically like an original car. And then, of course, it kind of migrated from there into various modifications. So that's why it has the TCI suspension under it, and that's why it has the Mustang Staffier frame stiffeners, and of course the stroker engine and the AOD transmission. All those sort of things have, compounded it as we've gone along. And there's still a lot to do, and there's just some things that need to be taken care of. I'm still I need brake parts, master cylinder, and brake lines, and make some decisions, and stuff needs to happen. But still need all the chrome for it, all that stuff. Because like whenever I do work on stuff, I like to test fit all the chrome, make sure everything's going to fit, because all those panels, everything's new in the back, right? So the convertible has that seam, it goes all the way around. Well, the way I look at it is, if you don't have the material, the chrome and stuff, and you do the work to the car and get it ready and you paint it, and then you go try to test fit something and you go, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now because this doesn't fit. I don't do that. I need to have I want to have all the pieces that are going to go, and I can go, okay, well, this doesn't fit, let me modify this. This doesn't fit, let me fix that. And that way, when it finally goes to paint, you're not chasing your tail around afterwards. So just a kind of a sequence that I like to do. All right, Paul, back to my paint question. I'm happy with the bodywork on the sides of the truck. My next step is to finish wet sanding the roof and paint it the body color. What brand of paint do you use? All right. Well, I use PPG. That's what we use at the body shop all the time, and that's what my default answer is PPG. I'm not saying it's any better than anything else. I'm not saying there's something better out there. I don't know. It's just what I'm comfortable with and what I've used. So do some research, but I'm just saying I use PPG. About all I can tell you, honestly. But I haven't had any issues. PPG is a great company, great product. So got to go with what you know. I was earlier today. I had done some. I was doing some more work on Jade, and I've got a video going. I'm working on it, and I found a bunch of. Well, I knew that there was pitting on the roof. I already knew that was there, and I'm slowly getting those filled in. That's part of the process. I don't want to put it in fresh epoxy. I've already got, like I said, I already have epoxy on the roof, and I've broken the surface of that because it's been sitting for like a year with that epoxy. So you can't just spray on top of it. You can't clean it and spray. You got to scuff it, break the surface, and apply the next coat. So anyway, I've been doing body work on all the little pits all over the roof of that car to try to get it ready to go. And that's just kind of, oh, okay, so you're asking which one. They have different levels. Yeah. I can't really say. Let me think here. What do I have? Let me see what I have sitting on the bench, if I have anything. I mean, I've got, and I've used it before. This is JB shop line. So base coat, but really, I mean, paint is one thing, but probably clear coat is more important. I'll just say that. I mean, you want to get a quality paint, but you got to top coat it with a quality clear. Otherwise, you're not doing yourself any favors, because a clear coat has to withstand or hold up to the sun, UV rays, abuse, all that stuff. And if you go out and you buy $100 clear coat versus a $400 clear coat, there's a difference. There's a reason for that. So you gotta think about that. But yeah, the base color that I'm using this shop line JB. In fact, this paint, yeah, it's still in there. This is, well, normally you'd say Gulfstream Aqua, but this is dark bright, or DK Bright Aqua Poly, which is another name for Gulfstream Aqua. So, but this has been, hopefully this is still good. This hasn't been opened, it's just been sitting. I've been shaking it up every so often, keep it moving, but that's the paint for Jade when it gets to that point. at some point. All right, so Steve had to get out and get some. Oh, forgotten didn't have coffee. Yeah, you know what? My coffee's now cold, but I'm gonna drink it anyway. Just like they made in the army. Oh, not quite. All right, so we still have 25 people listening, and I'm actually gonna end this at 1:15, which is 4 minutes from now, unless there's more questions coming in or more comments or whatever. But I've got things to do, so I'll make it at 1:15 otherwise. And hopefully on Monday, I get my credit time back from StreamYard, and we can get some more people on here, because I know it's nice to have multiple people on this thing. I mean, it's just fun. Listen, like we had Jesse. He didn't know he was actually going to be on the video. He has some questions about his Fairlane convertible, and he got a lot of answers, a lot of good information from that. And we had another, I want to say John, but I can't remember for sure, showing me his 60, I think it was a 68 Camaro convertible that needs a lot of help. You know, it was one of those, I'm sure it was one of those deals that he bought it thinking it was a great car, and somebody just covered up all the stuff and sold it to him. So, let's see, Paul. Yeah, go for the better clear coat. Yep. And any problem with going with base clear outside and single stage inside? Well, not really. Um, I've done a lot of like single stage interior work, because when you're like for the Mustangs, when you have the grain on the panels and you want to try to, if you want to try to save that, which is really hard to do, because when they sprayed it in the factory, it was a thin layer of whatever color. But if you were doing base clear on a door, you're going to fill it up with paint and then fill it up with clear coat, and it's not going to look the greatest. So a single stage works pretty well, and I have no problem with using single stage inside the car. You know, dash, door panels, whatever. It's not going to make that much of a difference. I typically try to, um, um, when I do the prep work, if I'm doing like a door jamb or something, I want that to be base clear. You know, wherever the paint is going to flow, it needs to be at a stop point. So like a pinch weld, it may be your stop point for the base clear, and then single stage inside. So just think of it that way. Let's see. William, hey Joe Dad, just found you. How often do you live stream? Well, I've been doing it on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Georgia time. And then I've been doing it on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. for people basically in Europe, you know, that can not get on during the, you know, Monday night event. So anyway, that's my, okay, yeah. So I hope I answered your question, Paul. I see your responses coming up, and I'm hoping I answered your question, but yeah. Leonard, how long can filler last? Are you talking about in the can? You're going to run out of life on that. I usually don't see it lasting a full year. Of course, I go through it, but it tends to dry out, and it's not really good, you know. So I don't know I don't know how long you've had the filler, but yeah, I don't know. Mine doesn't last a year, and if you're gonna do it, if you don't think it's gonna last long, maybe buy quarts instead of gallons, just because, probably easier. There you go, Karsten. You got your Rock Auto tip. Good. Sweet. That's good. Good to know. See, there you go. It was worth doing a chat today to get Karsten a starter for his 89 Mustang. Okay, Leonard. Yeah, in a can. Yeah, Robert, jams are heavy wear areas as well, so base clear is more durable. Yep. Yep. I go with that. And I just like to do. I like doing bass clear all the way into the jams and not having a tape seam. You know, I don't like tape lines. If I can get away with it, I won't do a tape line, but it's kind of tough to do. But anyway, all right. It is now an hour and 15 minutes. It's 4:15 p.m. here in Georgia, and that's going to do it. Now, I want to thank all of you for being here. If you haven't already, throw a thumbs up on the video. Leave a comment on the video itself, not just here, but leave a comment on the video. That helps as well. And we'll see how that, if that'll help out with the algorithms for the channel. As I've said before, revenue is way down on this channel, as it is with almost all channels. And oddly enough, my other channel, the revenue is going kind of up on that one. So if you're interested in oddball stuff away from here, I have Joe Daddy's Workshop, and it's fixing a lawnmower, fixing a pressure washer, a variety of things. I have my little RC truck that I usually have out here. I have a little video on that. Just some fun stuff that I do on the other channel, and kind of home repair stuff, home maintenance stuff. Karsten, I use the steel brushes on a drill to get the old paint off the inside of the door. Yeah, Leonard, just get yourself some fresh filler. It's just not worth it to try to use that old stuff. All right, Paul. Good. Okay, so that's going to be it. So again, next time we'll get together will be Monday night at 7 p.m. right here, and hopefully again I can have the other program going to where I can get other people on the channel, and